Picture a ruler who wins his greatest military victory, claims total dominance, and is so horrified by his success that he abandons war completely. By 261 BCE, Emperor Ashoka controlled nearly the entire Indian subcontinent. His Mauryan Empire operated as a relentless expansionist machine, swallowing up rival territories year after year with an overwhelming military force. In the ancient world, a monarch's legacy was calculated through a simple, brutal equation: the amount of territory controlled and the blood spilled to get it. But looking at the map of Ashoka's dominion, there was one glaring omission. On the eastern coast lay Kalinga, a fiercely independent republic in modern-day Odisha. This coastal position gave Kalinga a direct line to the Bay of Bengal, making it a lucrative hub for maritime trade stretching across the ocean. Ashoka targeted Kalinga as a calculated geopolitical strike to secure absolute economic supremacy in the region. Kalinga's massive wealth and continued independence posed a strategic risk. For an expanding superpower, leaving a prosperous, unaligned neighbor on its border was a vulnerability Ashoka refused to tolerate. When the Mauryan army finally crossed the border, they collided with a local population that fought back with desperate, unyielding resistance. The resulting clash leveled Kalinga. The devastation reached a scale that nearly wiped the entire region off the map. We know the exact details of this slaughter because of a message Ashoka himself ordered carved into stone, known today as Major Rock Edict 13. The inscription records a staggering toll: 100,000 people killed in battle, and another 150,000 captured and deported from their homeland. While modern historians approach ancient casualty figures with a degree of caution, the raw scale of the demographic collapse is undisputed. Ashoka had secured his maritime ports and eliminated his only rival, but the scale of the massacre forced him into a public, permanent admission of regret. Walking through the ash and ruin of his newly conquered, resource-rich territory, the emperor felt no triumph, only profound grief and remorse. A popular historical narrative suggests this exact moment triggered an instant, almost magical conversion to Buddhism. The reality is more complex. Records indicate Ashoka was already engaging with Buddhist philosophy well before he ordered the Kalinga campaign. The mass death he witnessed acted as a violent catalyst. It pushed him to fully embrace the doctrine of nonviolence. Overwhelming guilt forced him to completely restructure his approach to power. The trauma of Kalinga demanded a new way of ruling. Ashoka halted all military expansion. In place of armies, he introduced Dhamma, a comprehensive framework of ethical governance and moral law. For his citizens, this meant new state policies mandating compassion for all living beings, respect for elders, and strict religious tolerance across his diverse empire. To broadcast these laws, he erected massive sandstone pillars across the subcontinent, literally carving his moral edicts into the landscape. These monuments became so deeply ingrained in the cultural identity of the region that this specific carving, the lion capital of Ashoka, remains the official emblem of the Republic of India today. Ashoka realized he could not govern a traumatized populace with the same swords that harmed them. He had to substitute physical force with moral authority. This internal shift in governance radiated outward, altering India's foreign policy. Ashoka stopped sending battalions to neighboring kingdoms and started sending ideas. He leveraged the vast wealth of the Mauryan Empire to sponsor Buddhist missions abroad, famously sending his own son Mahinda and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka. This early exercise in soft power laid the foundation for Buddhism to expand from a regional philosophy into a massive global religion. And back in Kalinga, the site of his most brutal atrocity, is now watched over by the Dhauli Shanti Stupa, a monument dedicated to peace. In his final inscriptions, Ashoka explicitly separates the act of conquering a territory from the far more difficult task of earning the loyalty of its people. In an era where rulers only immortalized their kills, Emperor Ashoka achieved lasting immortality because he chose to carve his regret into stone.